Hello, this is Opinion Radar, and welcome back to our corner of honest, mom tested product reviews. If you're anything like me, juggling work, home, and a never ending to do list, you're always on the lookout for activities that are both fun and meaningful for your kids. That's why I decided to try the Dan&Darci Bath Bomb Making Kit, a $14 craft set that promises to blend creativity, science, and a little sparkle into one colorful package. As a mom who values screen-free play and hands-on learning, I was curious whether this kit could deliver more than just a mess. Did it spark imagination? Could my child actually do it with minimal help? And most importantly, would it be worth the time and cleanup? I'll be sharing our full experience today, what worked, what didn't, and whether this kit truly lives up to the magic it advertises. Let's dive in. Let me just start by saying, if you're looking for a fun, hands-on activity that will keep your kids engaged and giggling, the Dan&Darci Bath Bomb Making Kit might be right up your alley. I bought this for my 8-year-old daughter after she kept begging for something scientific and sparkly to do on a rainy weekend. When she opened the box, her eyes literally lit up. So much color, so many little containers of powders and glitter. It felt like science class met unicorn party, and honestly, as a mom, I love that it promised creativity and learning in one tidy package. The kit says it makes 10 bath bombs, and we were able to get close to that, following the included directions, which, I'll admit, weren't super clear at first. But once we figured out the rhythm of mixing just enough water without overdoing it, the process became a fun little ritual we did together at the kitchen table. She felt so proud measuring out the ingredients, stirring with intense focus, and pressing the mix into the molds. It's one of those rare crafts that genuinely makes a child feel capable, like a real little chemist. One of the things I appreciated most was how this wasn't just about making something, it was about making something useful. My daughter now takes real pride in dropping her own bath bombs into the tub, and bath time has gone from a daily chore to a much anticipated event. She gets so excited watching them fizz and spin, releasing little bursts of color and a sweet, citrusy scent. The fragrance is definitely pleasant, not overpowering but noticeable. I personally wish the lemon scent was stronger. It's more of a subtle hint than a full-on aroma. But overall, the sensory experience is delightful. The bath water turns slightly colorful, the fizz is satisfying, and the essential oils leave just enough of a soothing smell. It's not replacing our regular bath products, but it's a fun treat, and honestly, it's worth the joy on her face alone when she sees it working. She even started giving them as little gifts to her cousins, wrapping them in tissue paper like they're luxury spa items. So cute. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the molds. This is where things got a little messy. I know the kit is marketed toward kids, but truth be told, this ended up being more of a mom and me project than something she could do independently. The molds themselves are flimsy, and even when we followed the directions carefully, measuring water by the dropper, packing the mixture tightly, our bath bombs kept crumbling or failing to hold shape. The first few attempts expanded immediately after pressing and just puffed out like sad little pancakes. No exaggeration, my daughter's face fell every time. I stepped in after her third try, making sure I was extra precise with the water ratio, and still had mixed results. We eventually found that letting the mixture sit a bit longer and pressing harder helped, but it took patience. If you're expecting perfect spheres every time, you'll be disappointed. But if you're okay with slightly lopsided, rustic-looking fizzies and see it more as a creative process than a perfect end product, it's still a win. I will say, though, that this kit works best when you frame it as a learning activity, not just a craft. There's real science happening here, the reaction between baking soda and citric acid, the way water activates the fizz. I used it as a chance to talk to my daughter about chemical reactions in a way that felt natural and fun. We experimented. What happens if we add too much water? Too little? How long does it take to fizz? It turned into an impromptu science lesson, and honestly, I love that she was asking questions and testing things on her own. For kids who love hands on learning or have a spark of curiosity about how things work, this kit can nurture that. And while the instructions included weren't super detailed, they sort of assume you'll figure things out as you go. My daughter didn't seem to mind. She liked the trial and error part, even if it meant some bath bombs didn't survive the dual mold process. As a mom, I also want to mention the mess factor. Fair warning, this is not a clean craft. There's glitter, powder, and crumbled mixture everywhere, even with a tray and careful supervision. I sat up at the kitchen table with a big sheet of parchment paper and kept the Lysol wipes within arm's reach. That said, the mess was totally manageable, and for the level of engagement we got, it was worth it. The ingredients themselves seemed safe and non toxic, which is a huge relief when your child is handling them directly. I did notice that the colorants did leave a faint tint on the tub, but a quick wipe took care of it. If you're worried about stains, maybe do this activity in a plastic bin or sink. And one pro tip, let the bath bombs dry overnight before attempting to remove them from the molds. That little trick saved a few of our attempts from total collapse. So, would I buy this again? With some caveats, yes. It's not a flawless product. The molds need work. The directions could be clearer, and perfectionists might get frustrated. But for $14, it gave us hours of quality time, a few successful bath bombs, and more laughs than I expected. It's a great gift for birthdays or quiet weekends, especially for kids who love doing grown up things. Just go in with realistic expectations. It's less about making perfect bath products and more about the joy of making something with your hands. And if you're willing to jump in and help, especially with the drying and unmolding, your child will still feel like a total rock star. For us, it sparked creativity, curiosity, and a little more sparkle in our everyday routine. And really, isn't that what we're all looking for as parents? If you're ready to spark some bathtub magic and make bath time an adventure, grab the Dan and Darcy kit and let the fizztastic fun begin. Don't forget to like this video if you're loving hands-on kid projects and subscribe for more playful, parent-tested ideas that turn everyday moments into memories because every mom needs a little more sparkle in her routine.